10 o'clock at night. I'm in a city I've never been in before. I'm in Sydney, of all places. I've driven 9 hours from Melbourne to meet a man I've never met before in a car park. Why? Proton Satria GTi. It could sound worse than it is, but 21-year-old legend Lex, who is here, is the proud owner of this, a 2003 Proton Satria GTi. And as you know, if you've been following my Australia series, I have been hunting for Protons. We have seen Jumbucks, yes, we've ticked them off. We have seen Proton Gen 2s. Did I ever think I would find a Proton Satria GTi, especially one with the best number plate in the world, here in Sydney? No, I didn't. Owned since 2023 and has just literally, sort of 2 or 3 days ago, come back from having a full engine rebuild. It's this, and it's done something like 300,000 miles from new. She's a long way from home, but apparently I'm not the only person in the world that appreciates the Proton mark. Lex is not some weird John Coupland stalker who's found me on Instagram. He has been following the content on the channel for a while and has invited me to come and take a look at his GTi. In this video then, let's take a look around it. I might even see if Lex will have a chat with us and tell us the history about his Proton, and he might even, if I ask him really nicely, take me for a spin. Lex, hello.
How are you?
You're going to have to shout because I haven't brought my microphones with me.
That's fine.
This is your Proton Satria GTi.
Sure is.
I've tried to cover all of it in the intro there, but tell me about it. How long have you had it? What made you buy it? How much did it cost? What have you done to it?
So, it all started in 2021 when I bought my first car, a Proton Jumbuck.
Awesome.
Now, ever since I bought that Jumbuck, I was just introduced into the world of Proton and how amazing, annoying, beautiful and crazy these cars are. Pretty much, I had that Jumbuck for about a year, and then I thought I need to upgrade. I figured I've wanted one of these cars since early high school, so I ended up looking online, and there was a small family down a few hours south that was selling this one for 5,000 Australian dollars.
That's so for me that's what, 2.5 grand, two and a half. Okay, fine, about 50 pence to the pound. Okay, yep. Good, yep.
And so ever since then I made my way down. I had a look at the car. I saw that it drove well, it responded well, it had been sort of taken care of. It was a family car. Negotiated with the guy, he was more than happy to sell it to me, and ever since then it has been nothing but absolute joy and problems all at the same time.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say it's been nothing but trouble, but the fact that you started with joy, that's awesome. I know about these cars, obviously, as you know. The Australian market is pretty much the same as the UK market, right? They were all the same. I've had a quick look inside. Any differences that I should be aware of from the Australian market GTi?
As far as I know, the only differences between the Malaysian GTIs, the UK GTIs and the Australian GTIs is the Australian GTIs and the UK GTIs are more over-engineered, I should say, to deal with colder climates, considering Malaysia is always hot.
Yeah.
So for example, the throttle bodies in the Siemens model GTIs, not
yes.
the Mitsubishi ones, their throttle bodies have coolant pipes that run through them. This, however, this car, just during my rebuild, bought a brand new throttle body in it from Malaysia, Malaysian part number, did not include any coolant pipes whatsoever.
So this car being a 2003 late model would have a Siemens VDO as opposed to a Mitsubishi one, right?
Correct.
Okay. Have you done the swap? Have you swapped the ECUs out?
So what I've done is usually it's not very common in Australia for people to do the Mitsubishi swap to the Siemens or the Siemens to the Mitsubishi. Usually what Australians do, at least, is everyone takes out the 4G93s. They put 4G63 turbos in them, and they put the Mitsubishi Evolution 1 to 3 all-wheel drive system.
That is absolutely bonkers. Now, we're talking about ECUs because we're Proton nerds. Actually, from my experience, it doesn't actually make much of a difference. Everyone in the Proton Satria GTi community bangs on about, oh, it's the Siemens ECU, it's not as good as the Mitsubishi one. Yeah, well, actually, in my own personal opinion, doesn't make a difference. So, designed by Lotus, if you've never seen one of these before, it's actually, well, a Mitsubishi Colt underneath. I think in Australia you had it as a Cyborg?
Mirage.
Mirage,
so
okay.
The Cyborg was the one in Malaysia and Japan.
Yep.
We had the Mirage. You guys
we
had
got the Colt. Good. See, I'm learning stuff as well. So the GTI version in Malaysia was, as I say, the Cyborg. Effectively, what you got was a boot spoiler. You've got different bumpers at the back. Bonnet is a little bit further back. The side skirts are on the side there, rumble strips, and the interior, and I'll show you inside, is totally different. You've got the awesome Recaro bucket seats. You've got a GTI step here, and just some different bits and pieces on the dash. I know I'm filming in a car park at sort of 10 o'clock at night, so it's not the best quality in the world, but you've seen the videos on my channel of the Colt rebuild that Dad and I did. I say Colt, that's the Satria. Interestingly, in the early models, compact models, you didn't have this cutout, no passenger airbag, and that's how you can tell the difference between a Satria GTI and a compact GTI, because up until about 2000, 2001, they were retailed in the UK at least, and Australia,
correct,
as a compact GTI. Let's take a look around it, and then I'm hoping you're going to take me for a spin.
100%.
Good man.
Like this.
What, I'm going to like this?
Yes, you will.
I'm in for a surprise, apparently, under the bonnet. Go on, then. Oh, wow! How beautiful is that? Holy moly. Okay. Talk me through what we've got here.
Alrighty, so I'll start off with the basics. Genuine white line brace strut made specifically for Proton Satrias, out of Japan.
Yep.
Next up is the Mitsubishi Evolution 3 double barrel aluminium radiator.
That's mental. Why have you got, it looks like an intercooler. Why have you got a massive, what, why?
So, as probably some Proton owners know, these cars run annoyingly hot.
Yes.
So I thought, what better way to combat it than make the radiator twice the size and twice as effective.
And is it twice as effective?
It has. I have noticed that the temperature needle actually drops very slightly when I go down really steep hills.
That's incredible.
And as for the other things that aren't normal, so these extractors are custom-made Jampa extractors out of Malaysia. So pretty much these ones are uneven. They are about 1.8 inch wide. They go down to a 2.5 inch extractor pipe that leads to a high flow catalytic converter, and then the rest of the system is a 2.25 inch open flow exhaust system.
And have you built all that yourself and designed all that yourself? Or
I had all the ideas and all the money to do it.
Fine.
And I had professionals.
And you've
do it
had
for
someone professional do it.
Yes.
You were telling me off camera about the engine failure. What happened?
So, I was about halfway down from my old house, which is about 5 hours north from where we stand here. I got to about halfway in between where I live and here. It was a 42-degree day. It was New Year's Day on 2024. And I was just pulling out of a McDonald's and suddenly I heard a big crack and then ticking, really loud ticking. So I pulled over, popped the bonnet, only to find my entire timing belt shredded to bits.
Oh dear.
And it pretty much just caused a total engine failure.
Destroyed everything.
Every single exhaust valve had touched the pistons. Engine was done.
Do you know what it's nice to see? You've obviously done lots of modifications under here to make it more efficient, to do all this sort of thing, but you've not touched the airbox.
Correct.
Why?
Because one, it's hard to find an intake in Australia that one, looks good on these cars. Two, as I mentioned before, these engines run quite hot, so it wouldn't be smart or efficient to try and put like a pod filter on it, because then all it's doing is sucking in hot air. It's not sucking in cold air, which is bad for the engine. Until I get the money and find the right fabrication to make my own airbox, it's going to stay factory, because factory, quite frankly, is as good as it's going to get for now.
And that leads us on nicely to what it should look like under there then with the airbox, because if you've seen my video of the car as I've picked it up, which I've done hardly anything with, it's literally the pick it up and throw it in my unit, it's got an annoying aftermarket air box on it, in that someone's cut here and then stuck sort of like a mesh air filter on it, and it's running wrong, between a bit flat between 1 and 2, and I think it's because someone has messed about with the air filter. It'll be interesting to see how you get on when you try playing with your air filter. Let's take a look under there whilst we've got the light on. I forgot about having a light on my phone. I'm here trying to use it in the dark. Take a look at this. I love the fact that you've painted the top of the block as well.
The colour scheme for this car is blue and silver.
Blue and silver. I like it. I like it a lot. This battery clamp's very cool as well.
Yeah.
Incredible.
One other thing I forgot to add earlier.
Tell me as much as you can.
We were talking about ECUs off camera.
We were.
This one doesn't actually have its factory Siemens ECU in it. Are you aware of the company Link?
I'm not. You're going to tell me about it though, right?
So Link is as far as my knowledge goes, it is either an Australian or an American company that create standalone and tunable ECUs. This car currently has its own standalone G4X Link ECU in it.
And what does that give you difference to the Siemens ECU?
Completely just removes any limits that the car has. So the factory RPM limiter, that's gone.
I was going to say, because these engines are limited.
They are, correct. So now, instead of being limited to, as far as I'm aware, it was 6,800 RPM?
Something like that.
Yep. It can now freely rev up to 8,000 RPM.
Because as you touched on earlier in the video, these are capable of having a turbocharger bolted on. And in Malaysia, that is often an option that people do.
A very common option.
And I'm guessing that's why people are modifying the ECUs.
And that too, not a lot of people know. Some people do, some people don't. Once you buy these cars, you figure it out. These engines are actually out of the Mitsubishi Evolution GSR 1.
Yes.
Which came factory with a turbo.
Yes.
So these cars, these engines, are probably already ready for turbos. It's just the ECUs that were put in them by Proton stopped that from happening.
Can I have a ride in the passenger seat, please?
You sure can.
Awesome. It's nice to see that you've kept and retained the original Recaro bucket seats. They often get nicked and used in other things.
Or people take them out and sell them for what the car is worth.
Yes.
And then they put ripped up, broken seats in them.
No, good.
I'd like to say, she is still wearing in at the moment.
That's fine. Hey,
still wearing in.
I drive like a granny in my Protons. Safety first, by the way. Nice to see you've got a fire extinguisher in there. It smells like a Proton.
It does.
It smells the same as my Satria GTi, which is incredible considering yours has lived in Australia all its life, and mine has lived in the UK, but it smells exactly the same.
And you know what? This has smelt the exact same since day one of my ownership.
Yep.
I have not changed the scent of this car at all, and I don't think I ever will.
I can't describe how they smell, but if you've ever been in a Proton, you will know what they smell like. One for the Malaysian fans, electric windows still working. I'm going to have a thumbs up in there. The issue with driving in Australia is that your speed limit is about 7 miles an hour everywhere. So you can't actually drive a car how it's meant to be driven.
Correct.
Unless you go on the motorway. Now ignore the fact that there's P plates in the back there, but we're going to take it for a bit of a spin.
Red P plates in Australia, which is the second stage of having your first license. When you have your red P plates, it means you stand out the most to police, and you are limited to 90 kilometers an hour, which is, I think, about 45 to 50 miles an hour. And then when you're onto your green P plates, which is the final stage of your professional license, you are allowed to then go for 100 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
Or 60 miles per hour.
So we can go on a road that's 100k and do 100k.
Correct.
Let's do it.
One thing that isn't very common in Australia for these Protons is the rear fog lights that come as an option for these cars. A lot of the time they don't work on Australian Protons, mine do. As well as the factory fog lights in the front bumpers.
So, on my car, down here somewhere, is a switch. And I think it's for the fog lights.
Rightio.
Because I can see that in Malaysian cars they also have the switch, but I have no idea what it's for. I agree with you. Even on my Satria that my dad and I pulled out of a hedge, the rear fog light wasn't working, and that was because the terminals had corroded. Oh, that sounds so good. Tell me about the exhaust.
So as I was explaining earlier about what I've done to the exhaust, originally it started off as a catback exhaust. So I originally had put on something called a redback to a 2.25 inch catback system. So from the catalytic converter backwards, I changed the exhaust system to pretty much go straight through with a thinner resonator to a higher flowing rear muffler. And I wasn't quite happy with that. So I went ahead and got something called a high flow catalytic converter from X-Force. Pretty much what that is, it is still a legal catalytic converter, but with less cells in the core, which means it restricts less power from the engine. And then once I was done having my fun with that one, I ended up buying a custom set of Jamper, Malaysian made stainless steel extractors, which go down to the downpipe that goes under the car, and then it's a tri-wire system, so that allows for the engine to have increased torque and increased power at low to mid-end RPMs.
I love the fact that you know exactly what you're talking about, and you are such a enthusiast when it comes to this car, as opposed to me, who sometimes goes, that looks pretty, or that's how it left the factory, I'm happy with that. And obviously Dad is the mechanic. Very, very, very impressive. Why are you smacking the dash cluster there?
So, common issue with these Protons, I'm sure the English ones have the same problem as well. If you'd like to focus your camera on my temp needle right there. See how that's all the way right at the top.
That's a bit warm. You was telling me how cool it is with your super duper radiator.
Exactly, and you notice how there's no boiling coolant or steam running out of the engine.
Yeah, we haven't pulled over because we've broken down.
We pulled over because John wants to sit in the back seat.
I do want to sit in the back.
And we can and see how he goes from there.
Yeah, awesome. So how do we fix the broken temperature gauge?
Either I give it a good love smack, and if that doesn't work, you just have to deal with it.
So what's the plan with it? What's the plan in the future?
So, considering she's still wearing the motor in, just waiting until that day comes when I'm ready to do the final oil change to have the new motor properly worn in, and then on that day I'll be taking it to a dyno meter. She will then be put on a hub dyno, and then from there the expert tuners out at our West End Performance will find all the itty bitty gritty stuff in the engine and in the computer where she can improve, where she can run a bit cleaner and get the maximum amount of power out of the engine.
Absolutely incredible. I am so impressed. I'm quietly proud of you in my heart there for your love for this little Proton. The fact that you said earlier that it cost you less than £5 because you had a little bit of a haggle. Dare I ask how much you've spent tuning it, modifying it, rebuilding it and getting it up to your standards?
Will I include the price that I bought the car for?
Tell me the price first. What did you get him down to?
So I bought this car for 4,500 Australian dollars.
Okay, brilliant, bargain. And then now the work that you've done on it.
Pretty much so far, all the work that I've done to this car started off with all new brakes all around. I've got something called DDA Street Series brakes, which are upgrades. They handle higher temperatures, higher force, and have better cooling. Then what I've done is I have done the whole entire exhaust system, maximized it at about 2.5 inches, and then after that, pretty much what I had done is I put something called a short shifter in this, which is a kit which replaces your factory gear stick and the block itself, and then replaces it with one that allows it to reduce the throw of how far the gear stick goes between each gear. One was already in the car when I purchased it, but this one has something called an Exceedi heavy duty clutch. So the clutch feels like a tractor's clutch, but it can handle higher forces. You can do gear changes at higher RPM, and it's more forgiving. Then comes the day that the car blew up. I then decided, do I want to sell this car, or do I want to use this opportunity to go out and, as it's being rebuilt, I can put all the good stuff in it. So obviously I chose to put all the good stuff in it. So since that day, and during the engine rebuild process, this engine has had a strengthened crank put in it, steel rod bearings, forged pistons that are a slightly oversized, so it's gone from a 1.8 to a 1.9 now. It's had the head ported and the compression raised, along with larger duration cams and adjustable cam gears. And usually these Protons come out with a 1mm opening in the lifters. I have upgraded these to the 4G63 3mm lifters to help with oil travel and oil pressure through the motor. Along with that, I had my engine builder include billet water pump and a billet oil pump as well. So therefore, better cooling, better oil pressure, better oil cooling as well. Including that, as mentioned earlier, the Link ECU to make all this possible.
But you didn't answer my question. How much has it cost?
A very scary, so far, about $8,000 to $9,000.
Worth every penny, I assume?
No regrets.
That's the right answer. Absolutely. Brilliant. Let's take a look out the back. So my question to you then is, what's the future? Apart from doing all that work, getting the engine bedded in, getting the ECU mapped and tuned up, you're going to keep the car, I'm assuming?
I will try and keep this car for as long as I possibly can.
Is this your first car?
No, this is not.
No. What was your first car?
My very, very first car, from when I was not even a teenager, was in Australia they're called the Holden Barina.
Yes.
In England they are the Opel Corsa.
Well, they're the Vauxhall Corsa.
Vauxhall Corsa.
The Vauxhall Corsa.
Opel is the rest of Europe.
Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. I spotted one in Semaphore when I went. Thank you so much for taking me for a bez around in your Proton. It certainly drives a lot better than mine. Right, 2 questions for you before I end. Does your aircon work?
Perfectly. It is ice cold and it is boiling hot.
And the second question is, do your cup holders work or are they broken? Oh, you're showing off now. I've never seen one of these in the wild apart from the one I've driven home. How about in Australia? Popular?
Exact same as me. Apart from this one and my own friend's GTI, I have never seen one of these in the wild either.
So you've got friends that have GTIs?
I do.
Do you take them to shows and bits and pieces?
I haven't had the chance to go to a show with them, but in the next coming month, me and about 4 other GTI owners, which I'm friends with, are all planning on convoying in.
Awesome. So yours?
It'll be mine. I have another friend who has a red GTI that has a GSR turbo put into it.
A red one?
He's painted it himself.
Wow.
Yeah. There is another one who has pretty much typical Aussie sex spec'd it.
Sex spec'd?
Now,
What, SEX?
SEX.
Tell me more about sex
So,
spec.
Sex spec for cars in Australia has always been generally known as flashy paint, very big, wide, chrome or very glossy wheels, thin tyres, and very loud exhausts, big blowers,
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
So souped up, basically.
Pretty much. He hasn't gone to the point where there's a turbocharger on it and all that kind of stuff. It's like a normal GTI, but it has a lot of the cosmetics that a sex spec car would.
Sex spec. I think for us, sex spec would probably be, we would call it max power, which was sort of like a magazine in the sort of 90s and early 2000s, focusing on doing exactly that, sex spec. Is that a popular thing? It
was a huge thing in Australia back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
As per the laws coming into Australia, where pretty much it's getting to the point where you're not even allowed to own your own car at this point. It's died out and no one's been able to have sex spec cars.
So I am in the process of trying to create my own little sex spec revival in the UK. I really want to max power, is what I would call it, max power a K11 Nissan Micra. The bubble spec Micra, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see your mate's sex spec GTI. Maybe you can send me some pictures?
I'll try and find some and I'll send them to you.
There are so many more Proton related videos on the channel, and I've actually selected a couple that I think you might like here on this page. Give them a click to watch them now. Don't forget to subscribe for more Proton fun and lots more videos coming soon.